Tito Sotto to file a case against De Lima for presenting fake witness? Read here. Recently, the hearing on the extrajudicial killings went extremely viral when a Senate witness was surprisingly presented in the hearing. Everyone was taken aback except from the chair, Senator Leila de Lima and Senator Antonio Trillines. Knowing the history of both Senator and Duterte, it has been easily connected to different accusations of subversive propaganda from senators who support the president's war against drugs. The witness, Edgar Matobato, claims to be part of the Davao death squad who assassinates for Duterte back when he was still mayor of Davao City. However, many senators question the credibility of the witness and shoot at him with many questions to test his honesty. One of these is Senator Tito Sotto, who seemingly drove to a point that the witness was fake. Firstly, he asked Matobato if there are any other witnesses that can collaborate with all the things he revealed. Matobato answered none, as other witnesses are afraid to come out. He asked then if the witness has already signed a sworn statement or an affidavit regarding his statements. This was interrupted by De Lima saying that the office of the chair will assist in making an affidavit for the witness after the hearing. But when Sotto asked as to who arranged his arrival as witness in the Senate, Matobato immediately answered that he is not going to reveal who for the safety of that person. When Sotto repeated the question, Matobato quickly changed answer, saying he doesn't know who arranged for him to get there. Well, we trust that the truth shall come out soon. Invite you to watch the video. Not seen on TV. Senator Trillines displays insulting behavior to Senator Cayetano during the Senate break hearing, September 15. Yesterday, a hearing was held at the Senate about the witness brought by Senator Leila de Lima, who admits that he is part of the Davao death squad. The credibility of the witness was tested by the senators. During the questioning of Senator Cayetano, Senator Trillines transferred near Cayetano and cuts him off by asking Senator de Lima, the chairman of the hearing, "I would just like to inquire if there is an only questioning allotted for a non-member of the committee, Madam Chair." Then Senator de Lima clarified that questioning by the Senate members, non-members or members of the committee, that it should only take them up to 10 minutes only. She also said that she is not giving Senator Cayetano the leeway. Then Senator Trillines then said, "I believe we gave him more than an hour of leeway for a non-member. That's a luxury, and now as a member, Madam Chair, can I assert my right as a member of the committee? Otherwise, I might move to declare Senator Cayetano out of order for consuming the time of the committee of which he is not a member." After which, saying his statement, he then declares Senator Cayetano out of order because he is a non-member of the committee and moves to suspend. However, there is an off-cam moment that was uploaded on Community News Watch PH at Facebook that captured Senator Trillines showing a rude behavior that made Senator Cayetano furious. When Senator Leila de Lima gave a 2-minute suspension, Senator Trillines was caught saying, "Hindi kita papoporman," to Cayetano. "Anong porma pinagsasabi mo?" Cayetano told Trillines. Cayetano then said to de Lima during the 2-minute break, "Sinasabihan niya ako na hindi niya ako papoporman, sumasagot ako ng mayos." De Lima, calming the situation, told Cayetano, "Let's not resort to this." Cayetano to de Lima. He said, raising his voice to Trillines, "Please, let's not do this in front of them." De Lima butted in. Cayetano then said to de Lima, "I will answer calmly." The man, recording the video, was heard saying, "Lumabas na yan si Trillines bumalik lang obvious." Moments after, Cayetano said that if they can resume. After which claimed, "Madam Chair, ang hiniling ko lang po wag tayong magbasyasan dito sa committee na to." But before we recognize again Senator Alan Peter, that is why I have to butt in earlier, and I'm so sorry. Why I did that is because in proceedings like this, witnesses like the one we have now, find it really hard to appear in proceedings like this. No, he is being pressed to answer questions on a matter that I think he is sensitive about, that because, may sasabi niya kung sino ang tumulong sa kaniya. De Lima after resuming the hearing. However, when Cayetano butts into de Lima, Trillines turned off the microphone of Cayetano. "Madam Chair, very respectfully, it's a different matter, madam." Then de Lima permits Cayetano. "And then he tells me here, you are defending evil, etc. So Madam Chair, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this at kung tochu ang sinasabi, tatabihan niyo ako na ita trash talk ako. Siguro naman bilang isang senador, I never did that to any of my colleagues and I consider him as a friend. So this is just a point of order, Madam Chair. I can move, but can you make sure he does not follow me? I will listen to you if it takes you 2 hours, Madam Chair. You are the chair, I will follow. But I just want you to explain bakit mali yung premise niya kanina, because I gave a privileged speech, and if you look at item C of the agenda, it's my privileged speech, and it's not true that I have been speaking for an hour because I started at 1:45, 12:45, and if you look, we are given the same leeway to any other senator. So the nation wants to know, nagsasabi ba sa ng tochu o hindi? I'm here to interpolate. So if I'm not would be given a chance by the committee. Invite you to watch the video, meet the world's poorest president in the world who donated 90% of his salary to charity. Breaking the usual norms of how people perceive presidents, this man proves that luxury is not the key to his success. The president of Uruguay is different among other presidents from different countries because of his lifestyle, wherein he lives on a farm and having his official car, a 1987 Volkswagen Beetle. José Mujica was known to be as the world's poorest president who lives in a middle-class kind of way. Earning what we can view as a great deal of money, which is $12,000 per month, José chose to rather live in his old modest house in a rural area outside Montevideo than in the presidential mansion. 90% of his monthly salary goes to the poor people and small-scale entrepreneur. So, only an amount of $800 per month is left for José. Despite the lowly life this president is living, he admits not feeling bad for himself and instead craves for more of giving. José sets an example that could be a remarkable one for his fellow presidents. Invite you to watch the video. Priest in Iloilo is now being searched by victims. Look here, in the province of Iloilo, a fake priest who came by the name Fr. Cabrera presented himself at the St. Jerome Parish in Duenas as a guest priest. With the help of netizens who publicized the news on Facebook, the people of Iloilo were warned in regards the alleged fake priest who earlier also victimized people in a few areas in Matobato. In the said warning, photos of the priest was shared where the man was seen wearing a soutane or cassock. The post went viral and later on, many same encounters with Fr. Cabrera was revealed. People claimed that he appeared like a real priest as he identified himself as a Benedictine priest who claimed that he was from France. Unfortunately, he was forced to go back home to the Philippines due to a sick uncle. Stories of encounters of people from Dingle, Iloilo with the alleged fake priest have broke out as people revealed that he had been conducting activities as a guest priest until the parish of the said town belied him and revealed that he was not a legitimate priest. Many complaints and tirades have risen as the priest's victims cried over not only the money he was able to take but the baptisms and blessings he officiated. If it was not for the fake priest story that circulated the social media, a few victims admitted that they would not find out. They are now hoping that the fake priest be caught and sued for the falsification of his identity. Invite you to watch the video, How Hillary Clinton Would Be Replaced If She Quit the Presidential Race. Hillary Clinton returned to the campaign trail this week after the Democratic nominee recuperated from pneumonia and her physician pronounced her healthy and fit to serve as president. Yet the fitness of both candidates remained a major issue in the race for the White House, with Donald Trump appearing on the Dr. Oz show and also mocking his rival's health woes. At least one poll showed widespread concern about Clinton's health among voters. And a separate poll, released Friday, asked who Democrats believe should take her place if the unthinkable took place, and Hillary Clinton was forced for health reasons to step down as the Democratic presidential nominee. To be sure, the Clinton campaign is not suggesting anything of the sort. But there is a procedure for the Democratic National Committee to choose a replacement, just as there is for replacing a Republican, as was reportedly discussed by GOP officials in early August. At the time, ABC News reported, senior Republican Party officials were so confused by Trump's behavior that they were exploring how to replace him if he quit. The Democratic Party's charter allows a meeting to be called by the DNC to fill a vacancy on the national ticket, and for a new candidate to be chosen by majority vote of members. the charter doesn't say who should fill that vacancy. That means neither Tim Kaine, Clinton's running mate, or Bernie Sanders, her Democratic primary opponent, is the automatic choice. In fact, it could be someone else entirely, such as Vice President Joe Biden. In a Rasmussen Reports poll released Friday, 48% of likely Democratic voters said her replacement should be Vermont Senator Sanders if health issues forced her out of the race. 22% said Biden should be the nominee and 14% opted for Kaine. For either party, however, getting a replacement on state ballots would be more complicated, especially with fewer than 2 months remaining until Election Day. Ballotpedia, an online encyclopedia of U.S. politics and elections, writes replacing a candidate's name in late September could prove challenging. A party would likely have to look to courts to have their new candidates considered, given the lapsed ballot deadlines. Election officials in states have been known to show leeway on those deadlines, Ballotpedia says. But the opposing party could file lawsuits seeking to enforce state laws as they're written. By late October and early November, nearly all ballot certification deadlines have passed and voters in some states will already have cast their ballots, the encyclopedia notes. Clinton and Trump, meanwhile, each sought this week to tell voters that their health was a non-issue that shouldn't affect their eligibility to be president. On Wednesday, Clinton's campaign released a letter from the nominee's physician that concluded, she continues to remain healthy and fit to serve as President of the United States. Trump's doctor said the Republican nominee is in excellent physical health. Thank you for watching videos like you. Remember, the channel, register and comment below. Thank you.